When I first saw the CSS battle with the little sheepy thing, I thought, dang, that's a really good opportunity to show you guys how to plot complex shapes along a circle. There are a few ways you can do it. I've done it with Faith, like this little spiky pen here. It takes 360 degrees, and for each item, for each little diamond in the array, it just plots it along that 360 degree circle. A little bit easier to see in this pen right here, Happy Mother's Day, with 360 divided by 12 hearts that I have in this little circle, and times 1 degree. Though with CSS itself, that's a little bit harder. You could do like some nth-child stuff where nth-child 1 would be 0 degrees, nth-child 2 would be 12 degrees, though that takes a lot of math. Why not just make it easy on yourself? So I found a trick, and I was thinking about when I saw these sort of fractal designs on CodePen. They have this recursive strategy to nest elements within each other. They sort of compound the transform. And if I apply a transform here of rotate 45 degrees, well, we don't see much there. That kind of sucks. Though if we change the transform origin to, let's say, something that's a little bit lower on our y-axis, you'd get something a little bit different. Now that's still goofy, it's not what we want, but it's like saying, let's drop it down low and make a bigger circle, but let's drop it down real low and make a big circle. So I already know the value, 83, but if I increase the size of this origin, or if I drop the origin lower, it's going to give me a larger circle. It's going to plot those items around a larger circle. See, it's getting bigger and bigger. Ooh, girl. And that was like too big, you didn't even see it. That's great.
Thank you for getting this far. It certainly means a lot to me. Now do something great to the like button. You know, like this.
Some of you may be wondering, but Mimo, you didn't show off the battle. How dare you? But I would like to show it here, just as a review rather than me typing out and explaining. It'd be easier for me to just one by one go over some of the reasons and properties that I chose. For radial gradient, I wanted to dot the little eyes. It would be so easy to just drop in an x-axis value, say 100 pixels. That's definitely not it, but that's way easy. In production, it doesn't work out like that. You need to sort of keep everything related. And I wanted it to stay related to the center of the circle and just offset it a little bit. And using calc gave me the leverage that I needed. We'll say right at the center, offset it 10 pixels. So when I say negative 10 pixels, it's gonna move it 10 pixels to the left. And for the other eye, it's the same thing. I wanted to move it 10 pixels to the right, so I did 50% right in the center, plus 10 pixels. And it worked out great. And I did the same thing for the y-axis. So if I lowered this value, you can see that the eye sort of gets a little bit low. But let's bump it up. So there you go for a radial gradient. I wanted to dot them eyes. And I realized when I did this radial gradient, I ran into a problem. When I was creating the face without this clip path, he looked really heavy, like this. And that's not cool. I don't get 100% when he looks happy like this. He's just gotta look buggy like this. So what I did was I took this clip path and clip path polygon, think Porygon from Pokemon. He's got all those flat sides. A polygon takes a bunch of points, and each set of points has an X axis and a Y axis, and they're comma separated. So this point right here, 0, 0, starts at the top left. This point here, 50% on the x-axis, 50% on the y-axis, starts in the center. And then I wanted to move it up right towards the upper right. So this is saying, this calc right here, 20 pixels from the very right-hand side, right up on 0 on the y-axis. So essentially what this shape gave me was a little rectangle with a nice little triangle cut out of it. And that was literally just to cut out the eyes. It was definitely a weird move on my part. I could have done some mixture of pseudo elements, face before, and then moving those pseudo elements as circles over top of the face, but this one was just way easier. And another trick that I did was this little border thing. So when you specify a border all over, of course you get the border on all sides, but if you nuke just one side, you get a half circle. Granted, you've already used border radius. Thank you, Toronto Town. There are other ways to do that kind of trick. You could use clip path to create that half circle if you wanted. You could use radial gradient and say circle at top, bottom, left, right. And when you do that, you cut off half the circle. You sort of have to work with that offset, but it achieves the same effect. And one last trick I did is to use left 50%. Ooh! Sort of weird, right? Usually if you'd use left 50%, you may have to take the width of the item, divide it by 2. A little bit tough. If you mix it with transform translate negative 50%, it centers it for you. It's saying move it negative 50%. And that's great. That gets exactly what we want for centering. If you're new here, I do weekly CSS videos where you can learn advanced tricks. Hopefully you guys learned a bunch from this video. I know I have a strange style of talking, and I hope that it still comes across as something that you can learn from, despite being a little bit spicy. If you want to talk about anything, CSS, Monster Hunter, K-pop, let me know down below. See ya!